Have you ever felt a connection so powerful it unsettled you? Like an invisible thread pulling you toward someone? A thread you didn't choose, but one that feels written into the fabric of your destiny? It's not random. It's not coincidence. And deep down, you already know it. Because when heaven ties two lives together, it is never casual. It is strategic. It is prophetic. And it must be protected. Imagine this. Two flames burning miles apart, yet their light flickers in the same rhythm. Two stars in the night sky, separated by distance, but bound by gravity. That is how destiny works. That is how chosen ones recognize the ones they are tied to. But here is the paradox. The same connection that carries your calling also carries your greatest battles. And if you don't understand how to guard it, you risk losing more than a person. You risk losing a piece of your mission itself. In this message, we are going to uncover the truth about these rare connections, why they appear, why they are attacked, and how you can protect them. And I need you to stay with me until the very end, because the last revelation is the one most chosen ones completely miss. But when you see it, everything will make sense. If your spirit already resonates with what I'm saying, pause right now. Like this video. Subscribe so YouTube shows this word to more chosen ones. And type the number 777 in the comments, because 7 is the number of divine completion. It's the seal that says, this bond was never random. It was orchestrated. And now, let's begin. Because the first truth you need to understand is this. This connection is not human. It is divine. Number 1. This connection is not human. It is divine. In a world full of noise, your spirit somehow locks onto one frequency. You don't know how. You just feel it. There's something about that person. Something deeper, something eternal. It's like watching two stars pulse in sync from opposite ends of the sky. Not close, but bound. Moving in rhythm, like they were born for each other. That's what this bond feels like. Before you ever met them, before you spoke a word, the thread was already tied. Heaven wrote it. Earth just caught up. Have you ever met someone and instantly felt you'd known them forever? Not because of shared moments, but because your soul recognized theirs. That's no accident. That's design. But the mind gets in the way. We try to explain it. Maybe it's attraction. Maybe I'm imagining this, but chosen ones don't walk by logic. They walk by alignment. Picture a thread of light from your heart to theirs. Sometimes soft, sometimes blazing, but always present. Because what heaven ties, man can't untie. And here's the paradox. That same thread pulling you toward destiny also pulls you into conflict. Because anything sacred becomes a target. This is why discernment is everything. If you see this through human eyes only, you might misjudge it. You might walk away from the very bond designed to carry your mission. So pause for a moment. Ask yourself, who in your life feels less like a choice and more like a calling? Who pulls you into growth, challenge, alignment? You didn't find them. Heaven assigned them. And that's why this connection isn't about comfort. It's about purpose. It's about legacy. It's about unlocking something in both of you. But here's the mystery. If this thread is so divine, why does it feel so fragile? Why does it seem like everything tries to break it? The answer is in what comes next. Because the sacred is always attacked. And that leads us directly into the second truth. Number 2. What is sacred is always attacked. If this connection carries your destiny, understand this. It will not come without warfare. The greater the bond, the greater the battle. Picture a garden behind tall stone walls. Inside, rare flowers bloom. But outside, wild beasts circle, desperate to break in. That's what happens when heaven plants something sacred in your life. The moment it sprouts, opposition rises. Have you noticed? The closer you grow to them, the more chaos appears. Misunderstandings, arguments, distance, all from nowhere. It's like the universe itself tries to divide you. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual strategy. The enemy knows. Divide the bond, derail the mission. And here's the hard truth. Many chosen ones lose their calling. Not because of failure or weakness, but because they walk away from the connection that carried it. The attack was never really about you. It was about what you could become together. Let me tell you something powerful. Pressure is proof of purpose. If it wasn't sacred, it wouldn't be targeted. But the enemy rarely comes with a banner. He comes quietly, through doubt, through offense, through whispers like, "They don't care for you. You're better off alone. You can't trust them." And if you believe those lies, you'll walk away from what heaven trusted you to protect. So here's your challenge. When conflict rises, don't just ask, "What went wrong?" Ask, "Why now?" Because attacks always intensify when breakthrough is near. Picture a door of destiny about to open, and right before it does, the enemy throws every distraction he can. Not to destroy you, but to get you to walk away first. And maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you're wondering why this bond feels so heavy. Why every step forward comes with resistance. Let this be your confirmation. The attack is proof of its value. But here's the good news. What is targeted can be fortified. Just like a gardener strengthens the wall when enemies approach, you can protect this bond through prayer, through patience, through discernment, through refusing to let a storm erase your assignment. Because one storm doesn't destroy the garden, one winter doesn't kill the seed. Now pause with me, because we're about to open another door. If the enemy attacks what is sacred, how do you know this bond is truly sacred? That's the next truth, and it's deeper than most are ready for. Number 3, they are a mirror, not a mask. When heaven ties your destiny to someone, they don't just come to comfort you, they come to reveal you. Think of an ancient mirror, not smooth, not perfect. It reflects what's real, not what's easy to see. That's what a divine connection does. It shows you your truth, the beauty and the brokenness, your strengths and your wounds. And that's why so many run. Because facing yourself is harder than facing anyone else. Have you felt it? You meet them, and suddenly, you see parts of yourself you were avoiding. Impatience, pride, pain you thought was gone. But the mirror doesn't lie. Yet here's the paradox. The same reflection that reveals your flaws also reveals your greatness. They draw out your hidden gifts. They awaken pieces of your calling that were asleep. They make you see what you could become. Picture a blacksmith. He doesn't shape the sword with kindness. He uses heat. He uses pressure. And that's what this mirror does. It doesn't flatter you. It forges you. But here's the danger. If you mistake the mirror for the enemy, you'll reject the very process meant to transform you. You'll say, "They make me feel weak. They trigger me. They're too much." But what if that's exactly what you prayed for? To walk in your purpose, to know who you truly are. Destiny requires exposure. Calling requires refinement. And heaven often answers by sending a mirror. But don't get it twisted. A mirror doesn't judge. It reflects. Just because they reveal your flaws doesn't mean they condemn you. Let me ask you, are you willing to look into that mirror? Or will you shatter it because the reflection feels uncomfortable? Because comfort doesn't birth calling. Reflection does. Chosen ones don't avoid their shadows. They face them and rise through them. So pause. Who in your life shows you not just your strengths, but your wounds? Who awakens the parts you've buried? That's no accident. That's a mirror. And here's the secret. The mirror doesn't just reveal you. It teaches you. Which leads us into the next truth. Because number 4 is this. They are not only your mirror, they are your hidden teacher. Number 4, this connection is your teacher. When heaven ties your life to another, it's not just about companionship. It's about curriculum. Because some lessons only come through relationship. Imagine a library of sacred books. Most stay closed, but one glows, written just for your hands. That's what this connection is, a private textbook for your destiny. Here's the mystery. Teachers don't always look like teachers. Sometimes they come as challenges, as people who press buttons you didn't know you had. But every test reveals a truth tailored to your soul. Have you noticed it? With this person, conversations go deeper, conflicts cut sharper. Silence feels like a classroom. It's not random, it's instruction. Think of Moses and Joshua, Elijah and Elisha. Those weren't just friendships, they were transference, wisdom, mantles. But here's the challenge. Not every lesson feels like a blessing. Sometimes it's correction, sometimes it's friction, sometimes it's humility, and our instinct to resist, to say, this is too much. But chosen ones know. There is no growth without stretching. Picture a sculptor and a stone. To the stone, it feels like breaking. To the sculptor, it's shaping. That's what this person does. They chip away at what doesn't belong until only the essential remains. And maybe you've asked, why do they trigger me? Why do I feel exposed around them? That's the classroom. It's uncomfortable, but it's sacred. Discomfort is often the doorway to destiny. Surround yourself only with ease and you'll stay the same, but protect the one who teaches through fire, and you'll step into your higher self. Don't confuse this. Teachers are not perfect. They may fail. They may frustrate, but they are still assigned. Heaven doesn't send flawless guides. It sends the right ones. So let me ask you, are you resisting the lessons because they're painful? Or are you recognizing the hand behind them? The chosen don't run from the classroom. They lean in, but now we shift. Because if they're your teacher, they don't just carry knowledge, they carry activation. And that leads us to the turning point, the key to your calling. Number 5, without this connection, you cannot fully step into your calling. Here's the moment many chosen ones miss. They think destiny is a solo journey. If I just pray harder, believe stronger, I'll get there alone. But that's not how heaven designs missions. Picture a massive golden door. You hold a key, but it doesn't turn. Then, another key appears, held by the one heaven tied to you. Only when both keys turn together does the door open. This connection is that second key, not optional, not random, essential. There are parts of your purpose you'll never access alone, not because you're lacking, but because some assignments were meant to be shared. Some victories only happen in alignment. Think of Moses and Aaron. One carried the staff, the other the voice. Together, they shifted history. Or Ruth and Naomi, their bond birthed a legacy. Even Jesus sent the disciples out in pairs. Heaven honors agreement. This is why the enemy fights divine bonds so violently. He knows, if the keys turn together, doors open that hell cannot shut. Let me press this deeper. Have you noticed how different you feel when you're aligned with them? You're clearer, bolder. Ideas flow, peace settles. That's not just emotion. It's spiritual synergy. And when you're distant, confusion rises, vision blurs, the fire dims. Why? Because the key is missing from the lock. Here's your revelation. What you build alone may be good, but what you build together is unstoppable. This is why protecting the bond isn't about feelings, it's about future. But here comes the tension. If this connection is so vital, why does heaven allow seasons of distance? Why silence just when the door was about to open? The answer is in what comes next. Because before destiny manifests, heaven often allows separation, not to end the bond, but to test it. And that takes us to truth number 6, the season of separation. Number 6, there will be seasons of separation. This is where many chosen ones stumble. Because when silence grows, when distance sets in, we assume it's over. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this bond wasn't divine. But separation doesn't always mean ending. Sometimes it means refining. Think of winter. A tree looks lifeless, stripped, bare, still. But underground, the roots are growing. In silence, in secret, in strength. The same is true with divine bonds. Separation is often preparation. Have you lived this? You were pulled from someone you knew was tied to your destiny. Circumstances changed. Life scattered you. But the thread never snapped. The connection never truly died. That's because heaven sealed it. But in the silence, the enemy gets loud. He whispers, "See, they're gone. It wasn't real." And if you believe that lie, you'll bury a living bond. So what do you do in this season? You guard the thread. You pray. You remember the assignment. You wait in faith, not despair. Think of Joseph in prison, forgotten, alone, but not abandoned. Heaven was setting the stage. Think of David in the cave, hidden, cut off, but still being crowned in the silence. Separation isn't punishment, it's positioning. And here's the prophetic truth. When the separation ends, the bond returns stronger. Roots grown in silence produce fruit that lasts. Sometimes, the reunion brings acceleration. What was lost is restored in moments. So if you're in that winter now, don't mistake silence for absence. Don't confuse distance with disconnection. What heaven ties, no season can erase. And that brings us to the final truth, the one that seals everything. Because if you've walked through fire, mirrors, teaching, silence, and still feel the thread pulsing, then you're ready for number 7, the final seal. Number 7. This bond is sealed in your destiny. From the start, you felt it. This was never casual, never random. It was written, etched into the blueprint of your life before your first breath. Picture a seal of fire pressed into wax. Once marked, it can't be undone. That's what this connection is. A seal on your soul, a mark of divine alignment. And here's the mystery. It's not just about love, it's about legacy. Not just about comfort, but about calling. When heaven seals something, it means it carries eternal weight. That's why losing it feels unbearable. Because you're not just losing a person, you're losing a piece of your mission, a part of yourself. So let me ask you, have you ever tried to replace this bond and nothing else worked? Have you felt its absence like silence in your spirit? That's because what is sealed by heaven can't be substituted by anything earthly. Here's the prophetic truth. When you fully step into your destiny, you won't walk alone. You'll walk with the one who carries the other half of the seal. Together, you'll unlock doors no one else can. Together, you'll fulfill assignments no one else was chosen for. But with that seal comes responsibility. Because if the enemy can't erase it, he'll try to distract you from it. He'll offer counterfeits, temporary thrills, anything to make you forget the eternal weight of what you carry. But chosen ones know. They recognize the seal. They guard it. A king doesn't toss away his signet ring, he protects it, and because it represents authority. This bond is the signet of your calling. So here's your charge. Honor it. Pray for it. Fight for it. Protect it like your future depends on it. Because it does. If you do, you'll walk in something rare. Not just purpose, but fullness. Not just calling, but completion. Because destiny was never meant to be walked alone. It was written with a seal, a sacred bond, a divine connection, proof that you are chosen. You didn't stumble across this message by chance. You were guided here. Heaven placed this word in front of you because deep down, you already knew. Your destiny is tied to them. Every moment we've shared today has been preparing you for this truth. The divine thread that connects you, the battles that rise against you, the mirror that reveals you, the lessons that shape you, the keys that unlock your calling, the seasons of separation, and finally, the seal that cannot be broken. Not everyone will understand this. Not everyone is chosen, but you are. And that's why you're still here, listening, feeling this resonate in your spirit like an echo you can't ignore. So now, the question is no longer, is this real? The question is, what will I do with it? Will I protect it? Will I honor it? Will I recognize that heaven trusted me with something most people will never experience? Because this bond is not casual. It is not replaceable. It is not disposable. It is the language of your calling, the signature of your destiny, the proof that you are chosen. And here's what I need you to do. If this word spoke to your spirit, don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with another chosen one who needs this confirmation, because when you share revelation, you multiply it. And right now, I want you to declare it. Speak it into existence. Type in the comments, "I am stepping into my destiny," because words create atmosphere. Words align you with heaven's design. And when you declare it, you're not just typing a sentence, you're sealing your commitment to protect what was entrusted to you. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Not just so you don't miss the next message, but because subscribing is an act of alignment. It tells the algorithm and the spirit realm that you're choosing to walk with your tribe of chosen ones. So as we end, let me leave you with this. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will see what you see. But you weren't meant for everyone. You were meant for destiny, and destiny is tied to them. Protect it, guard it, honor it, because this is more than a bond. It is your seal, your assignment, your proof that heaven has marked you. Now breathe deep and remember, this was not random. This was not coincidence. This was confirmation. And before you go, don't click away too fast. The next message waiting for you on the screen is not by accident. It is the continuation of this word, the next step on your path. Click it now, because your journey as a chosen one is just beginning.